I'm a little excited about tonight's story because it has to do with something that interests and absolutely terrifies me, and that is the idea of organized religion. That's right, you heard me. Organized religion freaks me right out. And there's a reason for that. Sometimes when I'm bored, I'll search the internet for creepy stuff or a good scary story, and one of the stories I found, it friggin' terrified me when I first read it. And I think it terrified me because it was true, and that is the story of Jonestown. For those of you who don't know, Jonestown was a cult led by Jim Jones. After a series of murders, he made his entire cult commit suicide. It was the largest loss of life until 9/11, ranging somewhere to 900 to 1,000 bodies recovered from Jonestown. After that, I don't even know why I kept reading, but I did. And I started looking into more cults, and again, this really backs up my fear of organized religion. In all honesty, if you're not afraid, go Google Jonestown, Heaven's Gate, anything along those lines. Bunch of whack jobs. Anyway, tonight's story is The Cult.
The names in this story have been changed to protect those involved.
So, my roommate, let's call him Sean, left school before the semester ended, and I thought this was rather strange, so I rummaged through some of his stuff and found an old notebook. What I was reading shocked me. Here's the notebook I read. Well, I've never really written in a diary or anything before, so I don't really know, but here goes nothing. Night 1. The concert was good, I guess. I'm not really into Screamo that much, but Jack was good on guitar. So my girlfriend Rachel and I were taking everyone home. We came close to Rick's house and saw a bright orange light up the night sky. Smoke was rising into the heavens. It was an extremely large amount of light and smoke, so naturally we went to check it out. We thought a house was on fire. That's how large it was. It was strange because there was no road that led directly to where the fire was, so we parked the truck on the closest street and proceeded on foot. As we got closer to the fire, we started to hear chanting. We couldn't tell what the chanting was saying, but it was deep, loud, and I'm not sure why I got as close as I did. Maybe to impress Rachel. But the point is, I got close. Too close. Every person chanting surrounding the fire was in a large circle. They all appeared to be wearing the same robes, like monks. Anyway, I was at least less than 100 feet away from them. I held my phone up so I could take a picture. But before I could take the photo, a man saw me, and in an instant, all of them were looking at me, their hoods darkening their faces. Instinctively, I took off running back to the truck and yelled, "Drive!" Immediately. I jumped in the truck, Rachel floored it, and we took off. They asked me what happened, and I told them what I saw. Let me tell you, it was quite a scare, but I guess I wasn't too worried. It's not like they know where I live, right? I went home that night, and about 1 in the morning I decided to hit the hay. This is when it began. I had a terrible nightmare. It wasn't anything gruesome or disgusting. It was just shocking. All it was just someone in a cloak, like the ones I had seen worn by the people standing by the fire. What I saw was this man in a cloak, and all he did was stand there and stare. I couldn't make out any features of his face, just his eyes. They were pitch black, piercing, like they were staring right into me. I didn't sleep the rest of the night after waking up in a jolt.
Night 2.
I had the same dream as last night. It was just longer this time. I felt like I wanted to wake up, but I couldn't. It was like the man had me trapped in his gaze.
Night 3.
I don't want to sleep tonight. I can't stand having that dream again. I've been looking over my shoulder all day. I'll just drink some Red Bull and watch a marathon of Top Gear or something.
Day 4.
I might be going crazy, or maybe it's just lack of sleep, but I could have sworn I saw the cloaked man outside my chemistry window.
Night 4.
I tried to stay awake again tonight, but I couldn't. The lack of sleep got to me and I just passed out. The dream was even worse than ever. Same dream, same cloaked man, just this time there was a high-pitched squeaking noise going the whole time. And every once in a while a deep laugh would arise and then fall as quickly as it came. I can't take much more of this, and Luke is no help since he's home for the long weekend.
Night 5.
I decided to have Rachel stay the night with me tonight. I really don't want to face this alone. Once again, same dream, same man, same high-pitched squeak, except the laugh was much louder and more frequent. I feel like this is some form of Freddy Krueger shit. I saw him again. He was in the motherfucking reflection of my bathroom. I looked behind me, and he wasn't there. God, I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Night 6.
Luke's back and I told him what's been happening. He told me just to relax and that I'm overreacting. He's probably right, but why can't I shake this nightmare?
Day 7.
I saw him again today. He was across the street from me, just glaring. I know he was there because I stared back at him for a good 20 seconds. I think they're after me. I think they're gonna kill me.
Night 7.
I actually didn't have the dream tonight. What I had was a lot worse. I awoke with a jolt in the middle of the night and I can't remember why, but what I saw nearly gave me a heart attack. I glanced out the window, and there, standing in the window, was the fucking cloaked man. I looked away in a fright, and when I looked back, he was gone. I have to get out of here. I'm going home. I can't stay here anymore.
Day 8.
I packed the majority of my things. I'll leave the dresser here for Luke, give him more space. I hope that maybe this trip home will fix me. I think I just need to get away for a while.
The night.
Luke invited me to a party tonight, but I told him I was too tired and I was going to get some sleep. I wish I went to that party. Luke stayed out all night, so unfortunately it was another night alone. The dream came back, and it was just as bad as before, if not worse. Like the last night, I woke up in the middle of the night screaming. I looked out my window. Thankfully, nobody there. I jolted in fright when there was a hard, frequent, frantic knocking at my door. I looked through the peer hole, and I saw Rachel knocking and banging and screaming for help. I opened the door. He was fucking standing there. I was paralyzed with fright. Sorry if this seems really descriptive, but I will never forget the image that I held in my head that night. He glared at me with his dark, piercing eyes for what seemed like an eternity. Then, in an instant, he released a horrible, blood-curdling scream. He lunged at me, and then I blacked out. I woke up on the floor of my dorm room with the door wide open, and a crowd gathering around me. And go fucking figure, there he was at the back of the crowd, glaring at me. Fuck this. I'm grabbing my things, and I'm leaving for home. Fuck this, I just can't take it anymore. That is the end of the notebook, and this is Luke speaking again. After I read this over a couple times, I decided to do some research on this cult, if that's what you want to call it. I found nothing, but what I can tell you is what has happened since the incident, and what I've determined. Rachel went back home as well. I guess she's not with Sean anymore, but there's a good reason for that. Sean never made it back home. For some godforsaken reason, he jumped in front of a moving train and killed himself the night he was supposed to get back home. I think his plan for escaping the quote-unquote cloaked man didn't work, and he just couldn't take it anymore. Here's what I've determined of the whole situation. There was no cult. I talked to Rachel and the others about the fire, and they said it wasn't chanting they heard, it was singing. But they said they couldn't see anyone around the fire. So, I think these were all figments of Sean's imagination. Maybe something happened to him in childhood that just sparked his mind into thinking some disturbing cult. Perhaps he just had some sort of psychotic break. I'm not the best at research, so maybe I missed some key information about this cult, if it is real. Any info you might have on this cult would be greatly appreciated. On a side note, I'm pretty sure I saw the cloaked man in the hallway, but honestly, I think Sean's notebook is just getting to me.